Yo, it's official. Like a referee with a whistle. So, should you speak multiple languages to get close to women overseas? I've been hearing about this BS for over 20 years now. People say, man, if you speak Spanish, you have some advantage. If you speak Japanese, you have the advantage. If you speak the woman's language, you have the advantage. If you speak Korean, French, all this is crap. I've been hearing all this. I've been hearing about this shit for over 20 years. People still say it online. They said, but now, see, I'm gonna tell you what my experience has been. Because I understand a lot of Spanish. I can't read it, but somebody can be talking Spanish in front of me, and most of what they say I can understand, like, really well, right? They can be a Japanese person standing in front of me speaking, and most of what they're saying I can understand really well, right? Yeah, so I can understand really well. But where is the benefit? That's the thing. I mean, the stuff that they're talking about doesn't really mean anything to me. It doesn't benefit anything. Most time it's a bunch of gossip. And plus, now some people will say, well, you can communicate better with her if it's a woman. Because, a lot of guys think, oh, if I understand their language, if I know how to speak Spanish, I can get more access to the women. That's what they think. That's, in a fantasy world, that sounds good, right? But that ain't the case most of the time. Because most of the time, this is my experience. When I'm talking to them in Spanish, they trying to speak English. So I'm like, okay, whatever then. If I'm talking to them in Japanese, they trying to learn English. That's just been my experience. And maybe you met some girl and whatever her native language is, she trying to speak her native language to you all the time. She's trying to actually teach you how to speak her native language. Maybe that's your experience. I doubt it. It happens, but that's very rare. Most of the time the girls I've met, they trying to speak English. That's usually how it goes, And some people will say, well, there is a benefit. I've said, well, what is it? I can use, being that I can speak fluent Spanish, maybe I can get a job. What company? What company are you going to get a job with? Most of these companies, if they want somebody that speaks Spanish, they're not going to hire a black person that know how to speak Spanish. They're going to hire somebody that speaks the native language. That's how that's going to go. Now, unless you're like CIA or in some type of law enforcement, yeah, they might hire you. But in the workplace, they ain't not hiring you. They're not going to hire a black person that knows how to speak Spanish. They're going to hire a native. They're going to hire a person that speaks, and Spanish has to be their first language. That's who's going to get the job. That's how that's going to go. So, like I said, where's the benefit? There's no benefit in learning another language unless you're CIA or some type of law enforcement. Unless it's money related, job related. But just socially speaking, some people say, well, at least I'll be able to understand if I'm out and about. I can understand what they're saying just in case they might be talking about me. Well, who gives a fuck if they're talking about me? I mean, what's gonna happen? If they say something about you or call you a name behind your back, so what? I ain't from where they from. So fucking, I'm just a visitor. So who gives a fuck? I don't care. I mean, it's like, I don't care. I had a guy that, I think he had a lady come over to his house. He ordered cleaning service. Lady came to his house. I think she was from Venezuela, someplace like that. And he said the lady started talking in Spanish. And he didn't know what she was talking about, but he said he thinks she was talking about him with the other lady because it's two of them, right? They came over to clean his house. So he thinks they were talking about him. So I said, why do you care? Did they clean the house? Did they do what they were supposed to do? He said, yeah. Well, pay them and let them get the fuck on. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? I don't really care about stuff like that. I'm not trying to be liked by everybody. And the cleaning lady, I ain't trying to be friends with nobody like that. I'm paying her to do a job. I ain't paying her for no relationship and for her to like me. What the hell? Well, this is a business relationship. This is a business transaction. This ain't got nothing to do with, I ain't trying to build a relationship with a cleaning lady. What for? I mean, unless I'm trying to get with her on a personal, unless I'm trying to have a personal relationship with her, that's another thing. But I ain't trying to do that shit. So to me, it don't matter. That's what I told him. I don't know what he was, maybe he was on some other shit. I don't know, but I thought it was some weirdo shit, in my opinion, But look, when you go to these other countries, look, I know guys that spoke Japanese, and then there's some guys that spoke very little Japanese, like me. It wasn't no advantage or disadvantage. He just knew how to speak more than I did. That's it. But it's not like he got more girls than me. He got more doors open than me. He got to know more people than me in hidden places and hidden spaces. No, it wasn't no. I didn't see no advantage. I didn't see, you know what I'm saying? And even when I went to Korea and Guam and all these countries, in Malaysia, they speak English in a lot of these countries. So I didn't have to speak their language. And even when I tried to speak their language, they started speaking in English. So I'm like, what the hell? So so a lot of this shit is bullshit. When these guys say, oh, you should speak multiple languages. And a lot of these guys will try to flex on you. They'll make it seem like speaking more than one language, oh, that means you're smart and whatever. I know one guy, he speaks 8-9 languages. Like, so what? Well, I mean, why? I don't got time. I have too much shit on my plate as it is to learn how to speak 8, 9, 10 languages. What am I doing this for? It's just for fun? Okay, cool, knock yourself out. I got other shit to do that's fun. Cool. If that's what you want to do, okay. But there's no benefit when it comes to meeting people and getting to know women. No. I've met women on dating apps and websites online. I didn't speak the language at all. I used the Google Translator. I don't speak no French. I can't write Spanish, French, Korean. I don't speak none of these languages. Can't write none of these languages. I use Google Translator. I translated what I wanted, I wrote it down in English, went to Google Translator and flipped the words in their language. And the women love what I was saying. But I can't communicate with them in person. The same shit I would do online with them if I was to meet them in person, I would have to do the same thing. Because I can't communicate in person. Speaking wise, I can't do it. I would get on my phone and type what I wanted to type and translate it and let her see it on my phone. That's what I would have to do in person. Because it is what it is. Right? You know, now some people will say, you know, I speak more than one language. Some people try to flex. They'll try to make it seem like they smart and all that shit. These are guys from these African countries, like Nigeria, Sudan, and Western Africa. I'm like, hell, y'all had to fucking learn how to speak multiple languages. Y'all didn't have a choice. Y'all was getting pimp slapped over there by the Arabs, British, French, now the Chinese. So y'all ain't had a choice. Y'all had to learn how to speak multiple languages. I have a choice. Y'all didn't. So don't try to flex on me, homeboy. You'll have people they'll try that shit. You know, the dominant language worldwide, last I checked, is English. And that's just what it is. You know, I haven't experienced one country or one woman or one person where speaking their language was.
Do you find yourself struggling to meet women through online dating apps? Are you tired of constantly swiping left with no success and not knowing what to say to get the attention of a woman? Look no further. Our expert tips and tricks will give you the confidence you need to succeed in the online dating world. It's time to start taking control of your dating life and master the art of online dating. Imagine meeting some of the most attractive women in the world. Our game-changing program will help you navigate the world of online dating with confidence and charm. From creating a standout profile to crafting the perfect message, we've got you covered every step of the way. Our program covers everything you need to know to make a lasting impression. Say goodbye to endless swiping and hello to meaningful connections with the women of your dreams. Join the countless men who have found success in meeting women through online dating by following our time-tested and proven strategies. Take the first step towards improving your dating life today. Master the art of online dating and take your game to the next level. With our proven strategies, you'll be a pro at online dating in no time. So don't wait. Go to onlinedatingfordummies.com and get started today. And take control of your dating life, and you'll be light years ahead of most men with our groundbreaking program. Get ready to swipe right with confidence and watch your success explode. So don't wait. Get started today by going to onlinedatingfordummies.com and take the first step towards finding your perfect match.
Some type of competitive advantage. No. Let me tell you something. Most white guys that go to these other countries, that talk to foreign women here in America, they don't know how to speak that woman's language. And they ain't trying to learn how to speak that woman's language. If what usually happens is that woman is trying to learn how to speak English because she feels like it's worth the time to learn how to communicate with him. So I feel the same way as the white guys do. You know, if they come over here to America, they should learn how to speak English. I ain't saying you gotta be fluent, you know, but I'm just saying, just like if I was to go to some place like Colombia and I move there permanently, if I go to Japan, I move there permanently, I would learn how to speak the language because I know I'm going to be living here for the rest of my life. or for a long time. That makes sense. Because if I'm living there permanently, I don't want to be walking around trying to look for translators that tell people what to say and all that shit. Because the problem with a translator is they can't say it like I can say it, whatever it is. Sure, they might be able to communicate and say everything I wrote down or said to them, but it ain't the same. I've tried it. It's not the same, And I've learned that another thing I've learned, and I'm gonna end this video. Another thing I learned, well, people will say, well, communication is key, right? I've learned that it doesn't really matter the language that you speak to the person. Some people are illiterate. That's the truth. Some people are illiterate, man. You got people that can have a conversation with somebody, whether it's their language or English, it don't even matter. And they might not have a problem in most cases. But if they have to read some shit on a paper or something like that, or if they have to follow directions, that's when they have problems. They can't do it. They can't understand on which direction, or which place to go, whether it's right or left. They can't interpret what's being said on the paper. And it might be in their native language. They still can't understand what it's saying. Because a lot of people are what we call functional illiterate. They'll be fine, as long as if they have to do the same thing over and over, no problem. But if they have to do something different, or if they have to really follow directions, if you type them some directions on a paper and you say, hey, follow the direction on the paper, they won't be able to do it because they're functional illiterate. So even if you speak to them in their language, they still won't be able to, there's certain things they won't be able to comprehend, and that's what I found to be some of the biggest problems with a lot of people. They just can't comprehend certain things, and I don't know if it's how they grew up, how they were raised, I'm not sure. But I don't know. It could have been how they've been, how they were educated. I'm not sure. But I know there's some people there's a lot of people like that living in America. They're functional illiterate. They as long as, like I said, as long as if they have to do the same shit every day or the same shit over and over on a regular basis, no problem. But if you give them something new, and you tell them, hey, just follow directions, or if you try to tell them how to do something in their native language, or it could, even if it's in English, it don't even matter. They're gonna have problems. They're gonna struggle. You can tell them 5, 6, 7, 10 times, they still won't get it. You know what I'm saying? By the 20th time, you already frustrated. You be like, hey, what the hell's wrong with this woman? I told her 20, 30 fucking times, step by step, how to do this shit. Or I told him step by step. I told him 40, 50 times how to do this shit. And I showed him how to do it and still can't get it right. That's the problem with a lot of people. It's not that they don't understand the language. Hell, you can tell it them in their language. They still won't get it. They're functional illiterate. They can't comprehend, can't get it, don't understand. And you can break it down 1, 2, 3 like a baby. No, can't. Yeah. So that's the problem. So it's much more than just a communication thing for a lot of people, because that I remember like in the 90s, I used to hear people say stuff like, well, it's good to know her language. That way you can communicate with her and all this stuff. But no, it's much deeper than that. It goes much deeper than that. With a lot of people. It's not just a language barrier. It's much deeper than that. What a lot of people. A language barrier is one thing, but hell, we speaking the same language now. Now what? There's another problem. It's more of a mental thing. It goes much deeper than that. But some people say, well, it's their culture. Well, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But some people, a lot of people I've met overseas, or even the ones that come over here, it's the same. It's the same thing. I experienced the same thing. It ain't a lot of times it ain't a language barrier. It's just they just can't comprehend certain things for whatever reason. You tell me your experience. That's why I say, where is the benefit when it comes to speaking multiple languages and everything? You don't have to speak multiple languages to get close to a woman. Because I've done it many times. I don't know how to speak no fluent anything except for English. I only speak one language, fluent. I don't speak no fluent Spanish and Japanese. What for? What I'm wasting my time doing that shit for? Because I know it ain't gonna benefit me. Look, I've had women that speak Spanish fly out to see me. Shit, I ain't never spoke English to her. So I know that's cap. You know what I'm saying? So hey, share this episode. Tell me what you think. Tell me what's been your experience. I know this goes against probably what you've been told or probably what you heard, because a lot of people say stuff online just to be cute because it sounds good and all that stuff. But in reality, a lot of that shit that these guys and gals be talking about, the shit don't work. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't understand why people will say, well, I'll just go somewhere else. I ain't getting no play here in America. So I'll just go to another country. And, I'm like, okay. I mean, you might get play over there, but that's a long way to get to meet a woman. I don't travel to meet women. I've never done that shit before. I travel to have new experiences with my friends and family and enjoy life. And if I happen to meet a woman there, well, so be it. But traveling is not, my goal is not to meet women. That's see, these guys are kind of weird. I don't understand that mentality. You know what I'm saying? But hey, maybe it's just me. You tell me what you think below. Share this episode. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like. Hair from Cali, I live in the valley. Then you look sexy.